All right. Hello, and welcome to the channel DWTT, where I'll be discussing my five. I'm Gary, and we'll be talking about the Wolverhampton match, 2-1 defeat. Well, yeah, that's how I feel about the game. So first thing, let's go a little bit over the lineup. There was essentially just the one change. Saka comes in, and it kind of moves things around a little bit. Martinelli goes out. So, that was good to see that we didn't have to change much, and that's kind of how it should be, especially, I believe, with the front four. Our bench was pretty strong. We've got Gabriel, we've got Odegaard, Martinelli, and Aubameyang, which, for me, pretty strong bench. Chambers, Elneny, Ceballos, and Willian also were there, but I felt like Uh, those first four I mentioned give us a really strong bench. Runarsson was on the bench, Matt Ryan being out, and who knew Runarsson would have any play in this game? So let's get to my five. So my five is Bellerin, Cedric, Partey, Saka, and Pepe. I'm gonna have a +1 on this one, and the one might be more than just one, but you can understand why. So those are the five players that I looked at that would have to make an impact in the game, I thought, and I wanted to highlight and see how they did. All right, so let's go with Bellerin. Once again, I would say another solid game from him. I didn't see a lot of negative plays like where I'm screaming at the TV going, Bellerin, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? He had a really solid game to me. I think there's two parts to it. He's understanding the system that's being played and is able to do what's being asked of him. But also, I feel like the players around the 11 that we have now are pretty strong and they're playing good together and they understand what Arteta's given them to do. So he did really well. I could be pretty picky on him and say that what, there were opportunities where I thought he should take the ball up the side, and he just stopped and turned and went back. I felt like maybe he didn't see something he didn't like, but I felt like he could have probably taken it. Just my observation. Uh, Maybe had some opportunities on the defense where he could come out and do a little bit more, but really and truly, um, that was all I saw. I mean, I guess you can say one thing I did notice is when, we'll get to it later, but when it happened, he was probably in a good view to see what was happening in front of him and what was happening behind uh, holding, and maybe could have made some call to him to go and maybe do something a little bit different as far as turnaround and maybe go at the player who's running through the middle. But other than that, I don't think he did anything wrong. But that was just something I noticed, and sometimes I want players to do a little bit extra, and that was the only thing that I think he could have done, but not him to be blamed for that at all. Cedric was up next, so I look at both sides, our left and our right back. Cedric, once again, I think he held it down pretty well. Didn't feel like we missed Kieran Tierney, and Kieran Tierney being out was a reason for us to struggle today. He did pretty well. I think he played the ball, moved up the field when he needed to. In general, I don't have anything that I saw from him that I would expect. Haven't seen already, so he did really well, and I'll give him that. Next up, we've got Partey. From the previous game to this one, masked a major difference I saw in his game. He looked really good there, and maybe he just needs more game time, and that's what we saw. Right, he had more game time, and his play looked really good for it. He made some long passes for attacks, continuing moving the ball up the field. I mean, I think he may have taken some shots, but all in all, I think he had a good game, solidified that middle when we needed it. Good to see him do that. We're only going to get better the more he gets more game time under his belt, get more miles under his tires and stuff like that, or whatever the phrase is. But he looked pretty good, and I'll take that going forward. Next up was Saka. Once again, an attacking threat. put a lot of pressure on their goalie. Had some opportunities to score. Would have liked one of those to go in, especially the way the game went. But all in all, you know, he did well, and he did what he usually does, and that's good to see. Maybe he'll look back at this game and look at some of those opportunities and think, maybe what if I, what if I did this or that? But you know, shooters miss, and that's what we saw today. We would like to have one of those go in though. And last but not least is Pepe. He's doesn't. I don't think it matters where he is on the field, left or right now. All right, today he was on the left, coming in off the left, getting the ball and doing what he does when he see defenders in front of them, trying to get by them. I don't know if it was because of spacing or not, but they didn't have enough players around him this time. He was able to get past two and get a shot off to the far corner. That's kind of the things I think we want to see. The things we thought we were going to see with him consistently. Really good. That play alone is really all I need to talk about. I mean, if he does that for us on a consistent basis or puts us in that situation, that's all we can ask for him, and that's what that's what we want from him. I liked it. Um, he didn't have, like I said, he didn't have 5 plays to go by. Maybe two's the number, but he looked really well on that. I'll take that all every day. Good job from Pepe. And those are the 5. Now for my +1. Okay, so I guess my +1, I kind of have a combination here, but I have actually 4 things I want to talk about, but I'm just going to call it my +1 because it's my +1 segment. So first thing I guess we'll talk about the big thing. I guess we'll talk about the big thing first. Louise coming into the game. Everybody I was talking to was talking about Louise. He's been due for he's been due for it. The play that we look back and go, oh, Louise. And we got it today. I mean, it's after the play, I sat there and said, yeah, he made a mistake by attacking the player, but I think as I've heard from multiple sources, actually I think it was Lee Dixon who said his position, him being out of position, was the one reason why this all faltered. Once he was out of position, and everything after that is just a byproduct of being out of position. And you can see it if you go look at the replay multiple times. He's not in step with his cornerback partner, holding by too many yards, giving up the whole middle, and that's exactly where the attacker went, right between the two of them. This is, and I thought it was with 43 minutes, but I looked at the clock and it was 47. So less than a minute to go in extra time, and we just break down. Does Louise need to be up there that high attacking a player come with the ball? Probably not. But he is, so he makes the move. So then I always say, some other players need to come out and maybe do something to stop a negative. Could Holding have come up and maybe attacked Prudence with the ball, or maybe he could have felt the pressure coming up the middle and maybe went towards the attacker so the pass doesn't go through. Hesitates just 1 second, maybe we're able to get back into formation and slow it down. Can't believe Holding for it, but I would like to have seen that happen. The foul is on Louise regardless. Maybe they score, maybe they don't. A 1-1 draw at the end of the half is punishing, but a red basically killed every kind of any kind of any attempts we had to get in the game won convincingly, which we should have. We had so many chances in that first half. We should have won it, but we didn't. We didn't get those shots in, and that's how that went. Louise Holding combo seemed to work for a while, but I guess maybe 2 or 3 games, maybe 2 games is more than enough, and we need to get our starters back in there. Marie, maybe they got to pay you, or you got to get healthy. Gabrielle, you're going to have to play now. So that's Even down one man, even down two men, we still had opportunities to score. We did. We did actually have opportunities. We weren't able to score and tie it up, but we did have chances, and you want to see that regardless of how many players are on the field. Then the second red, Leno comes out of his box, out way well outside the 18, misjudges the ball, and then just instinctively swats at the ball. Nobody's behind him. Red card, and I think he just basically started walking off because he knew. He knew. I mean, would we have taken a 3-1 loss at that point because he came out? Most definitely, because now he has to miss a game. So he's got to think about those things at that point when he comes out. What are his options? If he judges it, does he just let it go? But he chose not to, and he cost himself a game. Or so. We did actually have a goal called back. It was an obvious call. Lacazette was offside when he received the ball. Got it back in. We got a score, and yeah, that's the way it goes. If he steps, half a yard up, he's onside, and he probably still score. But those are the inches. Those are the inches. So that's my 5 and my +1. Thanks for listening to my segment. Leave any comments below. Remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so when the next My 5 comes out, you'll be notified and won't miss it. Have a good day and good night. And come on, you Gunners. And as I like to end, life is a journey. Don't waste the trip, enjoy the ride. All right, thank you.